America decides that I should no longer enter America, it's okay, I will enter Zimbabwe. I'll enter Botswana, I'll enter Nigeria, I'll enter Africa, my home. Why should I be concerned about people who are going to feed me beggars and make me fat when I can go to Nigeria and eat jollof? Nice, nom, nice food. So why must I fight for beggars instead of jollof? That's how nice Africa is. So you want to threaten me that you won't give me a visa to America or give me a visa to London? I don't care. I'll go to Africa and enjoy the company of my own people. One day this will come to an end. Even if it's not achieved under me, I must lay a foundation for those who come after me, that we must not hero worship America, so to an extent that when we are threatened that we can't get visas, we retreat on our ideological position. Fidel went to the grave. I went to bury him. He didn't have a visa to America. So who am I? And these multinational forums where we're able to express our views, whether we're being heard or not, make a space for us to go and articulate our views. We ought to utilize those forums. Let's take, for instance, the UN. It's one body which is a very good idea, ideally, but in practice, the big brothers don't take anything it says serious. You bomb UN missions in Palestine. You bomb people who are going to supply food. UN missions. Who are we in the bigger scheme of things? The G20 helps us to engage in global economic matters, to express what could be alternative ways to can get the world better. The G20 that emanates out of the 2008 banking crisis, which plugged the world into an economic crisis, and was trying to find an alternative platform international where such things can be avoided, is now being utilized by a fascist of note to settle political scores. So you will know, Ntsiki, that where we are not wanted, that's where we are going actually. There where America doesn't want us, that's where we want to go. Because it doesn't matter, we want to express our views. It doesn't matter how much veto powers they've got. In the Security Council, we want to sit as a permanent member of the Security Council and challenge this thing of veto powers. We know we're not wanted there, but we want to sit there. We're not going to retreat about that. We're not going to retreat that because we're not... The G20 necessarily, there's no one who doesn't want us in the G20 except this fool. It's this guy who's got a problem with us and by extension America. And America is not a G20. We are a founding member of the G20 and no one is going to push us away. We are going to mobilize international communities to condemn Trump's action. We still have a year where we need to mobilize communities. I want to say it here without any fear of contradiction. Ramaphosa handled this saga very well. If it was me, it would have been worse. He did. That's what diplomacy, you see, that's the thing with diplomacy and radicalism and all of that. You ought to strike a balance. The guy handled that thing very well, very successfully. in a situation where he was confronted by serious hostility. It's not easy to fight America. It has never been easy. But like Fidel Castro, we're not going to retreat. Castro, under serious difficulties, under embargo by America now for more than 60 years. Cuba, without toilet papers. You know, in Cuba, when you go to a toilet, those things of toilet papers, you call them what? Ply. They count them for you. Eh? That thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, cut it and give you. They don't give you that thing of the whole roll to the bathroom. That's how much bad it is. And we agreed with the TG that we need to join the mission of the Communist Party to send food worth 1 million to Cuba. We are suffering, we are poor, deep slaughter, but we are in a much better position compared to those comrades in Cuba. Why are they suffering like that? Because they decided to take an ideological position against imperialist forces led by America. We must take inspiration from those people. And where we can help the Cubans, let's do that. I said to the TG, if we ask, because ours is very clear, that thing of declaring money to the IEC and nonsense is a mission of the Oppenheimers to see who's funding the EFF. I said to TG, we need to find the individuals who can each give us 99,000 rand, not more than the threshold, so that we don't get to disclose them. Put that money together, buy food, and send to Cuba. That's who we are. Insult us anyhow you want. We build houses for disabled people when we've got houses, because their pain is our pain. So when we do that, you must know we're doing that against America. It will never like that. But are we going to retreat because America doesn't want us to do that? Never. Even if America decides that I should no longer enter America, it's okay, I will enter Zimbabwe. I'll enter Botswana, I'll enter Nigeria, I'll enter Africa, my home. Why should I be concerned about people who are going to feed me beggars and make me fat when I can go to Nigeria and eat jollof? Nice, nom, nice food. So why must I fight for beggars instead of jollof? When we're in Nigeria, you must, DSG was there, we're given a nice jollof rice and what is that, goat soup? Pepper soup by the governor of that state, Enugu State. Ah, la la. Hey, my guy, we were sweating, but we were not stopping. Sweating, but not stopping. That's how nice Africa is. So you want to threaten me that you won't give me a visa to America or give me a visa to London? I don't care. I'll go to Africa and enjoy the company of my own people. One day this will come to an end. Even if it's not achieved under me, I must lay a foundation for those who come after me, that we must not hero worship America, so to an extent that when we are threatened that we can't get visas, we retreat on our ideological position. Fidel went to the grave. I went to bury him. He didn't have a visa to America. So who am I? Comrades, local government elections were fighting.
Wow, what a message from the President and Commander-in-Chief of Economic Freedom Fighters in South Africa, Mr. Julius Malema, to the people of Africa. Whether one agrees with Malema's politics or not, the message is clear. Africa should not see itself as inferior or dependent on Western validation. Our continent has culture, hospitality, opportunities, and richness that many often overlook. When Malema said he's not worried about being denied visas because he can travel freely across Africa, enjoying places like Botswana, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, with its jollof rice and goat pepper soup. He was not just joking about food. He was making a broader point about Africa, self-worth, identity, and confidence, and sending a clear message to African politicians, African leaders, heads of states that let's open borders. Let us create a united Africa where Africans who are being denied can move from one place to another without restrictions. Africans can do businesses among themselves. Right now, it is difficult for Africans to travel across the continent because of these borders. So if we are being denied in UK, in US, we can not be denied within our continent. That is a clear message to the people of Africa, especially to politicians. At the same time, visa restrictions remain a real issue that affect diplomacy, mobility, and the global engagement. Celebrating Africa should not mean ignoring the importance of fair international relations, but let us be treated as equal. That's what I think we need to do. Let us building Africa to be stronger, even better than before. So Malema has spoken many things, and he touched the issue of UN and the G20, the issue of UN Security Council, Ramaphosa, the way he handed and hand over the G20s. But one thing that came to my mind, what if we have Malema as the president of South Africa? We have Traoré in Sahel and Goita in Sahel. Don't you see that these two leaders or these leaders can come together and unite this continent? So I'm not here for campaigning for Malema. I'm just asking to the people of South Africa. Let us also give opportunity to Julius Malema. I know it's difficult because one thing that white South Africans fear most is Julius Malema to be the leader of South Africa, because they thought and think that Malema will take the land, and the land, we know it is full of minerals, so they fear. And all these things that you see between South Africa and the US because of the land. When South African government said we want to share the land with those who took the land without compensation, so America reacted. Why? Because America understood that in South African land there's minerals. So America is beneficiaries of these minerals. And for Malema to be a leader or to be a president of South Africa, it means Malema will do the way Mugabe did. And that's why they fear that if Malema will be a president of South Africa, this minority will have nothing, especially those who taken our land and hold our land without compensation from our ancestors. They are fearing Julius Malema. But let us now leave the issue of Malema. But I'm asking South Africans to give maybe a single term of presidents to Julius Malema, if possible. On the issue of UN Security Council, of course, we know that Malema said that South Africa should go where America don't want to go. And this brings me to the idea of UN Security Council. I've been saying this many times, that when Joe Biden was in power, he promised the Africans. And you know, we Africans, we live in much promises. We expect more promises than doing things that is good and right for ourselves. Joe Biden promised the Africans that his government will support Africa to have permanent seats in the UN Security Council. Today, Trump is the president. Have you heard one time Trump talking about Africa to have a permanent seat in the UN Security Council? No. Trump is not interested with the issue of Africa to have a permanent seat in the UN Security Council. The only solution for Africans, if we are talking about, if we demand to have or need to be included in the UN Security Council, we have to withdraw from UN then until they will give us opportunities, and not just to give us, until they bring us on the table. That's the only solution to do. If we continue to beg for seats, no one will give us seats. That's the truth. So if we want to be respected, let us turn upside down the table. Let us withdraw from the UN and withdraw when we are united. You know, one thing that is difficult for Africa is to speak with one voice. It is difficult because we are divided. These political leaders, many of them came to power under sponsorship of Western power. So they are there to support the interests of the Western. They're in the payroll of Western agencies. So they are not ready to see Africa is moving to the right direction. So that's why you see right now leaders in Rwanda and Congo agreed to stop this conflict, but conflict still continue. So you may ask yourself, what are they signed? What are they signed? Why they spend a lot of money, taxpayer money, even it's maybe given by America? Why they spend a lot of money from America if it was America who supplied those money, and appeared to sign and they didn't stop the war? Of course, we know that the conflict in DRC is complicated, but what does that mean? And if they see that it is impossible to solve this challenge, why they didn't speak loudly and said this should not work and this should work? So for Africa to have these permanent seats in the UN Security Council, we need to come together. We need to speak with one voice. Division is real and is working right now in the continent of Africa. So if we think we'll guarantee UN permanent seats, UN Security Council permanent seats with veto power, no one will give us. So I saw Malema talking about veto power. No one will give us veto power, except if we come together, unite, and create our own UN. We can be respected. Also, Malema spoke on the issue of ending of G20 summit, the way Ramaphosa did. Of course, this is the first time to hear Julius Malema praising President Ramaphosa, because many times I see Malema crashing and trying to attack Ramaphosa. But on this matter, he congratulating Ramaphosa for a successful G20 summit. That's a good thing to see. Sometimes you have to agree when someone is doing very well. You have to agree and to appreciate. Thanks to Malema for that issue. It is not easy to fight America. As Malema said, America is giant, but we can fight America if we're so united. We know we lack sometimes technologies, capacity, something like that, but we lack because of this unity. If this continent, black people can come together and unite, all these things that you see in America and Russia can happen also here in the continent of Africa. We are so powerful, we are so intelligent. The problem we have is in our minds. The problem of Africa is minds, not wealth, not things. We have everything. The problem is our minds. Our minds programmed to think that US is better than us, Europe is better than us, Russia is better than us. What America can do, we cannot do. But in real sense, what America can do, we can do also. What Russia can do, we can do. What China can do, we can do. We are the best people in this world. But the problem is our minds. That's why I'm saying, let us unite behind Traoré. Traoré is transforming the minds of the majority of Africans. If we can have Traoré, we can have Malema, we can transform our minds. We can make Africa great, and we can enjoy these resources of this continent. Right now, we are supplying materials to others instead of investing in yourself. So I think there's a need for Africans to come together. And the only solution for we Africans to come together is we young people. Whether you are in Burundi, in Uganda, in Democratic Republic of Congo, stop being used by politicians, especially puppet politicians. Stop being used by puppet politicians. Let us come together, unite behind great people like Malema and Traoré and others, those who are so visionary. If we can unite behind these people, we can liberate this continent economically. There's no reason for us to run away, to be humiliated like second version of person. And that's why sometimes you see they're restricting us visas. Can we restrict the visa to them? No. They see Africa as their property. So let us come together, unite, and speak with one voice. That's what I think we need to do as Africans. So, family, brothers and sisters, I'm waiting to hear also from you. What is your opinions? What is your perspectives on this matter? Malema is showing us the way. Malema is joining Traoré, because when Traoré said he will not attend the UN General Assembly, some said, these are militant, these soldiers, they are not diplomatic. But look today what is happening. If you think you are safe, you are not safe. So let us come together, unite, and speak with one voice. So of that, I know we have several challenges within the continent. We can solve those challenges. We don't need to ask America, to ask Europe to solve our challenges. We can solve our challenges by sitting down, by uniting. As I said, these challenges many times, it's because of puppet leaders. We have leaders who are puppets, who are being used by the Western power to destroy and sometimes to destabilize our continent. So African leaders, I know the generation is going out, but we have generation that is being used. And that's why sometimes you see these scholarships, you see these things, sponsorships. They're taking our people and preparing them to be leaders. Outside, you see it's a good thing. Oh, I have got scholarship to get masters or PhDs, something like that. It's good, sound good. But behind, there's something dangerous. There's something that is toxic. They are preparing people to learn their interests, to learn their agendas. So we need to be vigilant and we need to be careful. So family, those are just my views, comments from what I heard from Malema. And of course, I tried to add something maybe different. But all in all is to make Africa great and to share our thoughts and find best solutions for challenges. After that, have a nice time. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa.